contemporary India and its relationship. When you are trying to understand the contemporary India, its context, naturally, obviously, you must understand the nature of the society, Indian society, its cultural pluralism, that, for example, many languages, many castes, many religions. So that is how India is a land of plurality. The demography, diversity of Indian living. So therefore, India as a nation desires to unify each other. Though there is diversity, but unity is also expected. We expect. After independence, India has been practicing many democratic systems of education, because we have accepted democracy as a way of life. Democracy is not only a political slogan. Democracy has been accepted as a way of life. It must be reflected not in the textual material. It must be reflected in our way of life. For example, we are all teachers. In the classroom situation, for example, one of the principles is respecting individual dignity. As a teacher, I must not hatred the learners. The learner is a human being, teacher is a human being. So the teacher should, pardon? The teacher should also respect the child as a human being, not that the student does not have more knowledge, much knowledge. I am knowledgeable, so I will treat any like, no. The teacher must behave like the student as a human being. So there is a constitution. That constitution gives direction what kind of education is to be provided, what is the framework. Therefore, the educational practices in India are the reflections of rich democratic principles. As already I have told, for example, one of the principles of democracy is freedom. Now, this same concept has been well told in your national educational policy or national policy on education, child autonomy, learner's autonomy, because it is the learner who has to learn. The teacher cannot impose. If the learner is not in, all right, you have a class, you have made entry into the classroom situation, but most of the students say, sir, we are not feeling well, so can it be suspended? Can it be postponed? The class will not be held tomorrow. It can be, but you cannot impose. No, this is my class, I will take the class. But actually, to whom you are teaching? If the students are not in a mood to learn, so therefore, it is better to suspend the class. All right, okay, my dear students, I respect your opinion. So tomorrow you can, I can take the class, but let us have a chit chat. Through that chit chat, you can make the situation educative. Swami Shivananda says, every moment is a moment of learning. So therefore, you understand the students are not ready. You are teaching mathematics. The students are not ready to learn mathematics. Now you can play games, language games. You can relate the game to their life situation so that the students will be interested and participate. Anyhow, so therefore, nowadays we have our constitution. This is the commitment. Primary education, elementary education, secondary education, that is compulsory. We are committed to provide free of cost, like to all the children, irrespective of caste, color, creed. So therefore, we can do all this when we understand the contemporary Indian context in contemporary India, so that our education, what is education? Education is the modification of behavior, or as Swami Vivekananda said, education is the manifestation of divine perfection already in human being. So therefore, then once the teacher understands the nature of the context of Indian society, then because every child is born to a family, Indian family. So unless you know the Indian context, how can you teach the student? Therefore, this course BES-122. What is the title of BES-122? Contemporary India and Education. So such a vast subject. This has been talked about by organizing into 4 blocks. So this BES-122, which is entitled as Contemporary India and education has been discussed through 4 blocks. The first block, today we'll discuss the first block, that is your Indian societal context and education. In brief, I can summarize, then we'll discuss in detail. That first block deals with the issues of Indian societal context and education, also nature of Indian society, the aspiration of Indians, and also how the goals of education be achieved, what are the policy context, etc., etc. Also, second block, some policy and programs have been talked out. The block 2, policy frameworks for education in India, where it has been desired to highlight on the different phases through which our present system of education has come up. So therefore, how the present system of education is developed, that has been talked about in block 2. In block 3, that is your philosophical perspectives of education, because the system of education in any country, that is based upon different parameters, different factors, issues. Philosophy is one of them. Philosophical, political, sociological, psychological, these are different factors. But here in the third block 3, philosophy has been considered as one of the bases of your education. Therefore, block 3 discusses the philosophical and political concepts of education, which are an integral part of the Indian Constitution and its democratic living. The last block, the fourth block, that is under the banner of issues and concerns in secondary education. So particularly the last block of your, the last block of your course deals with the different issues of secondary education. So therefore it clarifies and debates on the issue of Ramsar Rashtriya Madhyamika Shiksha Abhijan, equity and equality in education, curricular issues of secondary education, and professional development of secondary education. Broadly, these are the 4 blocks of your BES-122, that is your contemporary India and education. Each block has 4 units. Since we have 4 blocks, each block has 4 units, there are 4 blocks, so therefore there are 16 units. And throughout these 16 units, we can try to understand the contemporary India. Then that will facilitate our process of teaching and the students will learn. So this is in brief about this course, about this Indian contemporary India and its education. Now today we'll discuss within the 2 hours, 5 to 7, block 1. The title of the block 1 is Indian Societal Context and Education. And we know that India is a pluralistic country. There are plural means many languages, many castes, many religion, many tastes, many color, like that. So therefore, there is a, because of this pluralistic, there is a maximum expectation that there may be problem for disintegration. So therefore, but we as Indians, we want that unity should be there, unity in diversity. So therefore, we have different levels of diversities in social living or at individual level. There are so therefore it will lead to it doesn't help in the peaceful living. For example, Delors, if you just recall the Delors report, which has given 4 pillars of learning. So that Delors report talks about 4 pillars of learning. So what are the 4 pillars? Learning. One pillar is learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to. So therefore, learning to be. So learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. See, living together. We are living, we must live together, but how? So peaceful living, peaceful coexistence. So let us live together peacefully so that we can lead a better life. So therefore, it has 4 blocks. The first block is about the first unit is nature of Indian society. So block 1, which is about Indian societal context and education, has 4 blocks. Sorry, 4 units. Sorry, 4 units. The first unit is Indian nature of Indian society. Already I have told you there are many castes, many color, many class, religion, family. So therefore, it is pluralistic. So now, in that context, how can we help the learner to become united and live peacefully? In the second unit, because we have education system, as a member of Indian society, every member expects something. So let us discuss what are the, it has been designed, what are the aspirations of Indians or Indian society. Therefore, for example, national, in the context of nationalism, social order, social justice, universalism. So that has been talked about in your unit 2, that is aspirations of Indian society. The third unit is about education and policies. We have many policies, many programs. So that will give us direction how to make it implementation, implementation. Therefore, in this unit, the students are expected to understand the, student means you student teachers, you are all teachers, to understand the parameters of development of an educational policy and its implementation procedure. So in this context, in this regard, preparing action plan, political support, when you are planning something, unless the governmental support is there, you cannot do. Also financial support. So that has been talked about in your block 3, unit 3. Now, last unit of first block, that is about Indian society and education. Here, it has been elaborately discussed about the nature of Indian society, and it has been, education has been considered as a subsystem. Society is a system, education has been considered as a subsystem, and it also emphasizes the education as an instrument of social change, as you find, because society is not static. What the society was 100 years back, at present it is something different. What I have seen in my childhood about the society, now you are looking at the society from different angles. In my time, for example, there is no smart class. Now smart class. So many changes are there. So now, according to the social changes, when the society is changing, our education system, because education is a part, is a subsystem. So education has to change. If it has to match with the aspirations of the Indian society. This is in nutshell about the first block. So now let us have a detailed discussion about those 4 units. First block has 4 units. So let us discuss one by one in detail. Is it okay?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Yes, sir.
B is 1 to 2. The title of the B is 1 to 2 is Contemporary India and Society Education. Now it has 4 blocks. Now today we'll discuss about the block 1. The title of the title of the block is Indian Societal Context and Education. That is. Now it has also 4 blocks. Let us come to first block. If we want to know Indian societal context, then definitely we have to understand the Indian society, its nature, like that. So unit 1 is devoted to that. So let us discuss unit 1. Unit 1 is nature of Indian society. Already I have made a reference that India is a pluralistic society. India is a land of many villages, many cultures, many castes, many religion, many classes, high, rich, poor, scheduled caste, scheduled type, like that, general caste, OBC. So this is the context. Therefore, we can say the Indian society is composite of different races, cultures, religions, and faiths. So therefore, it is a society with many-sided diversity. From many sides, we can find we can find diversity. For example, from language side, from caste side, from class side, from religion side. For example, you are a Hindu, I am Muslim, he is Christian, he is Buddhist, something like that. So we are different, though we are all Indians. So now, Professor Kabir, Humayun Kabir, he was an educationist, also did an education minister after independence. What does Professor Kabir says? Let us see. Throughout Indian history, we find on the one hand a tendency towards unification on the basis of religion, culture, and on the other fragmentation, division, due to differences in language, customs, economic, and political interest. So what does it mean? That means we want unification, unity, but that is diversity. That diversity is due to different practicing different languages, practicing different religions, practicing different faiths, beliefs. But on the other hand, we also expect that the society, the people should remain united. There should not be any fragmentation on the basis of religion and culture. But the problem is sometimes due to vociferous tendencies, due to narrow parochialism, we make our religion, my religion is better than your religion is like this. Now there is quarrel. And as a result, the very spirit of unification, unity is lost. So at the cost of narrow understanding of the concept of religion, no religion say that this religion is better than that. Religion is same. Religion says, what is religion? Our misunderstanding is there. Religion means humanity, Manavbad. So no religion say whether it is Bible, whether it is Gita, whether it is anything, the scripture, the same thing. Let us respect the individuality, humanity. Don't involve in bloodshed as it is happening between Ukraine and Russia. So it should not be. Also, Palestine and also Palestine and Israel. So because of misunderstanding, when you understand that Indians are human, Europeans are human, every human has the blood, the color of blood is red. So uniformity. So you are a man, I am man. You are Western, I am Eastern. But blood is same, spirit is same, tempo is same, belief in same. We must believe that, not that. If that is there is no problem. So that is what Humayun Kabir said. But let us see the social structure, the social framework. So therefore, in the social context, social framework, we find caste, color, and creed. There are different castes. We'll discuss one by one. One is the caste system. Because of that caste system, we are in diversity. So, what is caste? Caste is defined as a hierarchy of intermarrying group which determine the individual status in the social stratification. We are stratified. For example, you are Brahmin, I am oilman, you are fisherman, something like that. So fisherman boy will marry fisherman girl. Brahmin boy will marry Brahmin girl. So this is the stratification. So this is how we believe in caste. So there will be no one can go beyond the caste when you are going to marry. That has been told. So hierarchy of intermarrying, you are marrying within your caste, intermarrying. That determines your caste system. Therefore, membership of the caste is determined by birth. If I am born to a Brahmin family, I am Brahmin. If you are born to a washerman, you are a washerman, like that. So therefore, it is necessary to highlight its characteristic feature. So in the caste system, intermarriage is an essential feature. For example, for the members cannot marry outside the group. So in the this is very rigidity. In the nowadays there is some flexibility, but in the true sense of the term, caste regime does not allow someone to go and beyond the caste. So therefore, it is what caste regime is. In the medieval period, that means when the Muslims were the rulers, like Akbar, Babur, Islamic rule, the caste played an important role in the organization of Hindu society. So the dominance of caste during the period of medieval period was quite rampant, quite visible. It maintained the social and political stability, looked after social and mental security. Because of the caste system, you have been given the position, and therefore social security was possible. Caste system is, but when there is much belief in caste system, that will be harmful. Caste system is harmful for society when it brings social disorganization, which results into many fragmentation. When you believe in that my caste is better than his caste is better than that caste, your caste is low caste, because you belong to low caste, you will not be educated, you will not be allowed to temple, you will not, like that, you are deprived of, then there will be problem. For example, sometimes which I don't believe in it, of course this is there, but as educated, if Lord Jagannath is for devotees, so there is no question of caste. So you may be Muslim, I may be Hindu, you may be Christian, something. If you are a devotee, then where is the question of not allowing me? As I am Muslim, I belong to Muslim. So, but we have some LOC, line of control. No, these people can go now. For example, nowadays there is a dress code for making entry into the Jagannath temple. Of course, they have decided on what reason they have done. They know. So because looking into the present scenario, they have done. Okay. Then another is a caste system, a class system. Caste system has gone, and another is class system. Class means you are higher class, I am lower class. Jagabandhu, do you want something? Do you want to tell something, Jagabandhu? No. So therefore, in a class, stratification is, for example, in caste system, stratification is not free. That means you are within your caste. But in class, for example, you are a SC man, you are an IS officer. I am a Brahmin man, I am a teacher. So therefore, there is a more freedom. The competition is free. Membership of the class is based on status, not by birth, by status, standard of living, and other objective factors. So therefore, class consciousness also, when you are very much conscious of class, that will become an obstacle, hinders the growth of democratic value. Democracy does not believe, as a principle, democracy does not believe in this hierarchy, that you are higher class, you belong to a good position, your status is like this, you are a minister, you have like this, I am a poor man, I am a cultivator, I am like that. No. Democracy believes in equality. So every individual or every citizen should be treated equally. Equality of opportunity. You will be given opportunity, I will be given opportunity. If you are a talented one, your caste is not a problem. Your class is not a problem. So therefore, it is also a system. Therefore, our system.
Jagabandhu sir, mute yourself. Class is disturbed now.
So therefore, what can you do? We have classes. I am rich, you are poor. You occupy a very good place, I do not. But that does not affect our social life. You are when you understand, for example, we are all teachers. We have DO, something like that. The DO should not misbehave the teacher. He must understand. Also, that teacher has as much opportunity as I have. All right, you occupy a higher position. We respect you. That does not mean that you misbehave me. So therefore, we must treat all the human beings. Why not you become gentle? For example, a teacher has done something, has done something mistake. Now, politely, we can say, no, Miss Teacher or Mrs. Teacher, Madam, this is not the right way, you should do like this. Then that teacher may say, sorry, I have, no, okay. That doesn't mean that you can rebuke, you can go on talking something nonsense like that. So this is not democratically correct. Therefore, education should develop that attitude that we must treat all the individuals from the humanistic point of view. That therefore, Swami Shivananda had talked about that. How can you feel that all are same? Whether you know or do not know. Once during the by that time, Mrs. Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. Somebody has informed Mrs. Indira Gandhi that there is a saint, there is a philosopher on a particular on his birthday. He invites all the sweepers, those who are cleaning the latrine, something like that. He invites all the sweepers of that area, that is Haridwar, nearby his ashram. He invite all, they are respected like anything else. Swami Shivananda, what does Swami Shivananda do? He offered the chair, and they are given all the new clothes, and Swami Shivananda himself washes the legs of those people and gives the right kind, the best food, and also to some he helps in eating. Just see, when that news was told to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, she did not believe. No, how is it that they are sweeper, they are low caste, and Swami Shivananda said like that, let me verify. Then she went to that ashram, then met, by that time Shivananda was there, she met Shivananda, Swami Shivananda, then requested Shivananda, tomorrow you invite some sweepers, and you should do this so that I can be with you and I will see. Then Swami Shivananda smiled. He said, no, I am not doing all this to demonstrate that I am doing like this. This is from my core of heart. I respect all the individuals as a dignified individual. They are working, I am working. You are teaching, I am cleaning the, he is cutting the grass. So you are involved in working. So I respect those people for that reason, because you are treating them, they are ill-treated. Therefore, I have all respect, because they are doing the best job. Like that's it. So we must not. Why should we misbehave somebody when I cannot behave properly? Who has given the right to me to misbehave the individual? Anyhow, then another is your family and community. Family is an important, because of the family. We belong to a family. Maybe grandfather, maybe father, maybe mother, maybe grandmother, maybe joint family, maybe nuclear family. But from family, we learn many things. I still remember we had in my time, we had joint family. We belong to rural area. Before we have been told, after the in the night time, after our tuition is over, after taking the dinner, we went to the grandfather. He tells us for 5 to 10 minutes. He tells us the fables, morality-based stories. Then he said, "What did you learn from? What did you learn from this story, from this fable? So you should practice." So it was just like a kind of injection. That means morality was a sense of morality was injected from the very childhood. That was the foundation. But nowadays, because we believe in a nuclear family, husband, wife, one child, or 2 children. But now tell me, who will take care of your children? So therefore, some mature personality, experienced personality, who has come across those stumbling blocks, difficulties, they are more experienced. They can give their life impressions. That will give a best foundation. Therefore, family in those days, also to these days, family was the primary unit of learning, and mother was the primary teacher, first teacher. So therefore, most of the social experiences we get from our family, maybe for social experiences, maybe related to morality, maybe related to cooperation, maybe related to any aspect of life that is based from your family. The family may be nuclear family, a small, already I have told you. Another is extended family or joint family. What is that extended family? Extended family is the unit that in which the adults and children of more than 2 generations live together. When in a family, the members are from more than 2 generations. For example, the child belongs to one generation. The child's father belongs to another generation. The child's father's father belongs to another generation. For example, grandfather, father, child, 3 generations. So this is what is your joint family or your extended family. So therefore, families, the role of family should not be minimized. Another is community. That means what is community? People together with a common cause. There are many people, they are joining together. They become the member of that society for the common interest. So community is a group of families settled in a village or town and bound together with common practices. For example, Hindu society, Hindu community, Muslim community, Telugu community, they are combined together. We call it congregation, togetherness. They have met together. They are combined together for common interest. For example, they will practice common values. They will practice common understanding, like that. For example, according to Bogrados, it is in your sim, page 9. Bogrados, a community is a social group with some degree of we feeling and living in a given area. We feeling. For example, if somebody for example, I belong to a Telugu family. We are many members in the community. So anyone individual from the Telugu is suffering from fever. Now, the rest of the others, they are taking care of that suffering man. So therefore, that is also important. From the community life, we learn many things. So therefore, the characteristics of the community are the sense of belongingness. We are all belonging. Still, I remember when in my childhood, when, for example, someone's daughter or son will get married, the rest of the people around his neighbors, they were helping. Somebody will go for marketing, somebody will go for contacting post, somebody will go for collecting utensils, somebody will go for invitation, like that. So that was social life, belongingness, we feeling, common social heritage, common values, common understanding, common feeling, like that. Relative economic self-worth. That means we within the group, we are sufficient. For example, somebody is not well economically, some economic hardship is there. Now, if you belong to very well-to-do family, now you can share. All right, what is your problem? Now, my daughter is going to marry. I want some more money. I have no money. Some shortage is there. All right, you take from me, and as and when you feel, you can give or you may not give, like that. That was economic subsidy. So therefore, there are different functions of community. For example, if people are educated, they are able to solve the problems of the society. Through education, the community is able to make the future generation conscious of its cultural heritage. Now, the cultural values, the culture is transmitted from one community to another community. Another community means another generation. Sorry, from in that community, it flows from one generation to another generation. I must know what are in my community, what are the values. For example, I still remember when we are reading in class 5, for elementary level, even high school, my mother was not educated, but she was very valuable. Most of not educated, no formal qualification, but we have been told. Rudananda Pradhan, raise hand. Sakuntala. Is there any problem? Rudananda?
No, sir.
But you are raising the hands. So therefore, we have been told that you go play after returning from school at 4 p.m. After taking water ice or something like that, then we go for playing. The mother has instructed to us We are 6 brothers sisters. That you play by 6 p.m. you should return, so that we can have evening prayer. Then after the like that Dipang Jyoti Parang Brahma or Kajjula Puri Lotan Vale, like that. After that, we will be making namaskar, pranam, touching the foot. So that was a kind of a sense of culture. That similarly we know it. Then we tell our children, so do this, like when you pray, that means you try to understand the spirit of prayer. That means you are praying to whom? The Almighty. We are the part of the Almighty. So therefore we are all good. Therefore we will talk about, when I will talk about naturalism. We are from the hands of the nature of Almighty. So we are born good, but we become bad when we come in contact with the bad people. So anyhow, so therefore, community, when we live together, we learn many things. Also, there is another factor, religion. We have in India, we have many religions, but a religion does not say that some religion is good, some religion is bad. It is a wrong practice. So therefore, that if somebody feels that this religion is better, that religion is better, not better, that it is irreligiosity, not a religiosity, irreligiosity. So therefore, India has practiced secularism. Every religion is equally important, should be equally treated. So equal importance should be given to all religion. So therefore, all religions say, for example, all religions say that God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and almighty. Now I will ask a question to you all. Please think up, and tomorrow you will tell me. If God is omnipresent everywhere, presenting everywhere, omnipresent, then what is the necessity of going to temple? Why have we constructed, Hindu people, why have we constructed a temple? God is here with me, why should I go there? So you think over it. So therefore, religion says that we are all human beings. We must treat all the religions equally. Also, we must respect people across the religion. Across, I am Hindu, you are Muslim. I must respect you. You must respect me. You must have seen. I have seen in some programs that even Muslim people, they are observing, they are celebrating, observing the Hindu practices, like Lord Ganesh, like Salman Khan, like your Shah Rukh Khan. Many Muslim people, even in some place, Jajpur, in most of the Hindu practices, rituals, the Muslims participate. In some of the Muslim Islamic practices, Hindu practice, that is Bhaichara. That means they are living how this is the example for us. Anyhow, so that is religion. Then changing social fabric. Now the social system is changing. So what is that social fabric? By social fabric, we mean variation in or movement of any aspect of social process, social interaction, and social organization. For example, intercaste marriage has been allowed. It's not allowed, it's going on. Similarly, now family is not in a position to give education to the child. Now schools have been started. Temple is no more a source of education, but school, college, like that. So therefore, there is some variation in our understanding of the social structure, like that. Then another concept is pluralism. Always I have told you, plural means many, singular, plural, many. What is many? Many language, many caste, many religion, like that. Pluralism refers to a society, system of government or organization that has different groups which keep their identity while existing with others. Now, identity must be there. You belong to Muslim, I belong to Hindu, he belong to Christianism. You like idli, I like rice, you like non-veg, I like veg. It is there, but we are not disintegrated. We are unity in diversity. We are unified. So therefore, pluralism serves as a model of democracy. That means it is a fact that there are different types of people. There are different types, different religion. There are different culture. There are different caste. There are different classes. There are different languages. But those should facilitate our style of living, our living situation. Anyhow, so therefore that should be treated. Now I have talked to you. They are not, for example, caste, class, religion. All these are not isolated entity. Rather, they are interrelated. For example, I may belong to a Brahmin. I may be a Brahmin by caste. That does not mean I will be an IS officer. Even the low caste people, from the caste hierarchy, SC, ST, they can become, they can occupy the higher position. I can belong to my family. Doesn't matter. Also sometimes we adopt some children when I have no child. I can adopt. I do not know what is his caste. So like that, there is interrelationship among these that we must see. Now, also there are some other problems. You are quite aware of this. For example, you take the case of gender inequality. We have, what is gender inequality? Gender inequality refers to unequal treatment or perception of individuals based on their gender. So here, I would like to differentiate. It is not there, but I must tell you, there is a difference between sex and gender. Sex is determined by birth.
Biological.
Gender is sociological, cultural. Means the moment the child is born, now the parents assign, oh, my daughter, she can take care of the food, she will be cooking, so like that. A boy, she will be educated like this, like that. She will give, he will give me something like that. So because it was a male dominated society, now it is going down. For example, a parent who has no son, only daughter. So when the father is dead, who will give whether burial ground, something like that. Now the daughters are doing. They said, no, I am also equally important. Because of education, now that disparity between the male and female, boys and girls, that is going down because of education. Therefore, even I know that my sister, elder sister, who was quite intelligent, in class 3, she got a scholarship. In class 5, she got scholarship. In class 7, she got scholarship. In matric, she got scholarship. But father did not allow her to continue higher education, because if she continued, if she had higher education, more dowry will be paid, something like that. And in the common parlance, the common language was Jyojanam Paragharu. So if I educate my daughter, so she will be educated, I will spend a lot of money. After education, she will get married, and whatever money she will earn, so it is for the father-in-law's house, in-law's house. So therefore, this is a wrong practice. Equal treatment. Now our constitution says whether boys, girls, no difference. So therefore, gender inequality, there are many social causes. I will not elaborate, you know. Similarly, for example, nowadays, in order to empower the girls, there are many programs, policies. For example, it is there. For example, Swarna Jayanti Grama Rozgar Yojana, Sampurna Gramina Rozgar Yojana, awareness generation projects for rural poor women, Kishori Shakti Yojana, and Ladli Lakshmi Yojana. Many plans and programs are there. What for? Let the girls be educated. When they are educated, they will be aware. Now, for example, recently, India, the government of India has decided that 50% quota will be for the ladies for your political representation. Now, in Odisha, 33% for your assembly. So now more and more people, women, they're coming, and when they come, they will protect their rights. Anyhow, then another problem is maintaining secular state. So very difficult. There is a we are combating, we are fighting with each other for petty issues, for small issues. That issues, Hindu, Muslim, caste. This is your what we call religious belief. You should not practice like this. Why did you go like this? No Muslim can do like this. No Hindu can do like this. So it is not like that. If you are educated, therefore every individual in India has a worth and dignity. When you know that individual, not Muslim, not to what religion does that man belong to, that woman belong to, that is immaterial. We must treat, when we have the inner feeling that we are all human beings, then it is not there. Similarly, society exists for individual, not for individual, for society. So we are for society. No discrimination like that. So secularism believes in respecting all religions. Then similarly, upholding democratic principles. There are different democratic principles. For example, fraternity, freedom, dignity of labor, then the dignity of individual, tolerance. There are many principles. So these principles should not remain as the printed materials written in the books. So we should practice in our day-to-day life. Basically, we all teachers. As a teacher, I am telling that we are free. We should provide freedom for the exploration. We should provide the opportunity so that one can grow. When that man comes to the home, now he does not, but if he is a male teacher, for example, don't misunderstand me. When he is taking that, when something in the family related to decision, who takes the decision? The male member, not the female member. But nowadays the situation is changed, because most of the women, they have entered into the world of employment, either teacher or corporate life or political life. Now a male cannot suppress the inner voice of the female. So therefore, because you are empowered, the women are empowered. So therefore, male female difference is less. So therefore, the adoption of justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, this is what our constitution has said. We must be committed to all these. So therefore, whenever any problem related to these democratic principle comes, our constitution has prescribed different policies, rules, regulations that will protect. Another is linguistic diversity. Already I have told you there are many languages, but we must respect. For example, we are Odia. That doesn't mean that I will not like Bengali. So each a man professing any language must respect another language being professed by other people. Also, sometimes you learn Telugu as an Odia, you can also learn Telugu. You can learn also Bengali, no problem. So that is how you are respecting. Similarly, regional and cultural diversities. Now, on the basis of, for example, northern part, southern part, these are the regional region. Now, a region may be defined as territory, the habitants of which have an emotional attachment to it because of commonality of caste. For example, southern part, northern part, eastern part, western part. We are talking like that. So we believe in common. We have common beliefs, commonality in caste. We have better grooming. So therefore, it is okay. But when for that your religion, nowadays people have raised. So this should be another state. That should be another state. That should be another. How many states? That means every district will be state. So you must have certain rationality. Why are you going now in Odisha? Padampuru people, they say this should be a district. Andhapur people, they say district. And Jaleshwar people, that means every subdivision will be district. So there are certain criteria. If that criteria is fulfilled, it can be. But people are ignorant of that. So now we as the educated people of the community, we must make them not. It is not a political mandate. It is not a political agenda. We also people, educated people like teachers, we can say no, 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 no. It is not like that. Let them understand. Not under they do not understand. But we have to say it is not like that. It is like this. Similarly, for example, sometimes people say when the train is going on super fast, the people say, no, no, in our station it should be there should be halt. There are some principles. You must understand this. So therefore, against this, India is a nation. Already I have told you, India is a nation. We have understood the context. Many caste, many culture, many classes, many religion. There is disparity, gender disparity, like that. But we want to develop. Our nation should develop. So how can you develop? So that is possible through education. So therefore, education is a kind of investment for human and economic development and is influenced by the environment. Now, education should be considered as a kind of investment. We are investing on whom? The children, the students, human beings. The students of today are the citizens of tomorrow. When they have learned here from here, then they will practice there. So therefore, education can play an important role for the national development. There is a relationship between national development and education. For example, one instance I can tell you what your Kothari Commission says. Education can increase the national productivity. How? If the country invests on scientists, invest on teachers, invest, that means giving training, the power, empowering. So some scientists will be created, some teachers will be created, some political leaders will be created, some cultivators will be created, some farmers will be created, some businessmen will be created. So for the national development, Joy Devan, Joy Kisan, everyone has a role. You cannot say, I am a teacher, I am doing the best, I am teaching the students, I am creating. No. Even you are teaching students, if the students will not listen to you. So therefore, the different categories of personnel, we call it functionaries or stakeholders. So we must take care of stakeholders. They must be enlightened. So it is said, an enlightened citizenry is a greater defense to the democracy. When the citizens are enlightened, educated, then they can understand their role. They can play a positive role in the context where they are working. Maybe a cultivator. For example, I am a businessman. If I am truly, if I have understood education in the proper sense, that means I will be honest. I will not cheat. Nowadays, you see in Cuttack, it has been published. So there are many medicine producing factory. So all bhejal, something like that. So that means you are playing with the life of people. You are giving, when that medicine will be given to the ordinary general people, the people will die. So the education say like this. So life is more important. Similarly, sometimes the doctor is operating and the cotton and the scissor is inside. Similarly, sometimes the teacher, 10 days back, some teacher was drinking and the students are looking at it. So what is the status of teacher? So we must understand because we are educated. So they are also there are other group of people in Indian context. Their number is very less, maybe. We call them marginalized group, like SC, ST or like nomadic children, like that. Because we are committed to educate all, education for all. So that is the commitment. So therefore, what is just marginalization? Marginalization is a form of acute and persistent disadvantage rooted in underlying social inequality. So any disadvantaged group that come under marginalized. Marginal means small number. Also that is we have to consider because we are our constitution has, or democracy has committed to provide education for all. So whether they belong to small group or large group, doesn't matter, we have to give it. So because equality to practice. For example, let me tell you, here some examples are given in the context of marginalization. The most disadvantaged sections of society are girls, women, then hard to reach groups such as indigenous and ethnic minority like nomads. They are staying 1 month here, they are going there like that. They do not have a stable residence. Differentially able person. Earlier, they were told as disabled. No, that was better. Now we have termed it different level. Disabled or negative impact, negatively sense. Now they are able also, but different. Therefore, you must have seen in para games, many from Odisha, some of the players, they got prize, something like that. Different able person, rural population, nomadic population, like that. The people affected by HIV, AIDS, the working children, all. We have to think of education of the children so that we can say that our nation can be developed or national development is possible. So this is all about Unit 1. Then come to Unit 2. If we want to develop our nation, if national development is a key factor, then what would be the aspiration of the Indian society, Indian people? So therefore, let us see the aspirations of the Indians or Indian people, Indian population. One is nationalism. What is that nationalism? Nationalism is the force that binds the citizen of a country. That means when somebody, for example, you are Odia, I am Telugu, he is Bengali. But when you are going outside India, for example, America, we are all Indians. We forget that you are Bengali, I am Telugu, you are Tamil, you are Odia. But we represent, we are from India. We are Indians. That broadness is most important. Then we can, if we as a member of the country, we believe forget our regionalism, then national development can take place. Therefore, what is the aim of education? The aim of education is to socialize the individual and to bind them in the bonds of the now. Irrespective of our bonding to different or affiliation to different cultures, we must feel that we are a part of the greater whole. So therefore, broadly, we are all global people. We are remaining in a global village. So Manavbad, like that. Therefore, education plays in national progress by making economic betterment, eradicating social evils, and like that. So therefore, nationalism is expected of, so that we can be economically independent, socially we can be one, like that. Another is social order. So now,
sir, page number
pardon?
Sir, page number sir?
Page 24. Now another aspiration we aspire. We means Indians. Social order. Ramarajya, as Gandhi said. So what is this social order? It is a kind of arrangement. It is a kind of social order. It is nothing but an arrangement of the society, or arrangement is orderliness. So, for example, we can call it constellation of social institution. Constellation means congregation, mixing, togetherness. So we have different social institution. For example, family is a social institution, marriage is a social institution, education is a social institution. There are many. Temple is a social institution. So they should not fight with each other. They should be closer to each other. That proximity among them makes the order a better social order. Then we can think of Ramarajya. For example, Lumbli in page 25. In general, social order refers to the totality of human relationship and culture of any given area or time. At any point, for time means modern time or ancient time. In ancient time, people are together irrespective of caste, color, creed. Also in modern time, it is like that. So it is not a question of time-bound program. It is also across the time, also across the area. So therefore, our human relationship. We must understand each other and we must cooperate in each one. Similarly, types of order may be family, may be economic order. That means everybody should be economically independent. That order is not that I am a member of the society, but I am not earning anything else. So how can you contribute to the welfare of the society? So unless an individual is economically independent, he cannot exercise his opinion. Similarly, any country also, if a country does not have economic independence, then rest of the country, they may attack it, they may influence it. Let us take the case of Sri Lanka, let us take the case of Pakistan, economic crisis, because no, even IMF, International Monetary Fund, has refused to give loan, borrowing, and there is economic crisis. So therefore, that economic stability is more important. That is our aspiration. Similarly, political order. Therefore, there is governance. Some political parties will be there, but those political parties should not quarrel with each other. The members, they should know their responsibilities. You know that in the parliament or in the assembly, how the situation is between the ruling party and opposition. That should not be. So similarly, a religious order. India is a multi-religious country. People of various religious faiths live in country with love, and so therefore I have told you that whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, we are all Indians. We must understand and we must live together. So therefore, if that is there, then a religious order will be maintained. Then legal order. So laws. For example, there are different laws for your right to education. So here I have to tell you, so that under the jurisdiction of Indian Constitution, right to education is meant for everyone globally. Right to education derives its legal basis from Article 26. Now we are talking about education for all, right to education. The root is Article 26(1). So that is your Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So therefore, our constitution is committed to provide education to all, education for all. That is also another expression. Similarly, social justice, irrespective of your class, caste, everybody should be given justice, so that no one will feel neglected, no one can be isolated from the society. So therefore, in the words of Young and Mack, in most societies, people classify one another into categories and rank. Rank means you higher position, lower position, rich, poor, like that. These categories ranging from higher to lower. So that.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, Article 21 or Article 26?
Article 26.
Article 21 or 26?
No, 26.
Right to education.
No.
Sir?
Under your Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Internationally.
Internationally. Okay, sir. 20.
That are 26, clause 1. Page 27, you can see legal order. It has been written. From Article 26, clause 1. Then we have, it is derived from that. Then India has accepted like that. But originally it was Universal Declaration. Then social justice. That means we must be just, so that our property, our income, our life can be secured. So here we can say that when we are talking about social justice, because in the context of society, there is a position. One is your vertical, there is mobility. One is vertical mobility, another is horizontal mobility. What is vertical and horizontal? Vertical means your position from one situation to another situation. You are not within that situation. That is vertical. For example, you are a teacher. Now you got IS. Now that is your vertical. For example, in Ganjam district, there was a collector, Kulange, Amrita Kulange. So originally he was a teacher. Now he got highest. So now this is your vertical mobility. But within this, within the working position, you are getting mobility. That is your horizontal. For example, you are working as a teacher. Now you are a BO or you are a headmaster. There is mobility. There is movement. But in the same situation, teaching, you are not going beyond. That is your horizontal mobility. That is also we have to. Then universalism. So what is the universalism? Universalism is extensively inclusive. How? That means when you believe that we are all is well, allness is oneness. Allness is oneness means, as you have been different say, all is okay. Similarly, universalism is extensively inclusive, means it includes a variety of people, many religion, many caste, many position, many like that, many tastes, many languages. So therefore, we must be together. So therefore, it is a question of allness in oneness. When we are all, when we feel one, what is that one? For example, your caste is something, my caste is something, your language is something, her language is something, her religion is something, my religion. But when we feel that we are one, we are all Indian, we are all global, member, then that is universalism. We forget the differences due to these reasons. So that is there. Therefore, universalism should be an expectation. We all desire that we should feel that we are all one. So therefore, education, what can education do? What is the role? Education is considered to be of immense help in realizing the ideals of democracy. When the individual feels the different ideals of value, the principles of idealism, like democracy, secularism, national integration, then this is possible. Therefore, also, we expect, you are working as a teacher, I am working as a teacher, somebody working as a peasant, somebody working as a cultivator, somebody working as a Dawan, doesn't matter. What everybody should feel, you should feel, I should feel, that I am estimated high. That means I have been respected. So that this is a need. Who does not, for example, who does not want that I have been respected, I have been asked, I have been recognized. You have some talent. If someone has recognized your talent, then you are estimating his talent, somebody else. But when you feel yourself, yes, I am, I can do, that is, you are estimating yourself high. And when that will be there, inferiority complex will be less. For example, I have seen the interview where Duti Chand was narrating the story. She belonged to some part of Jajpur. So she was narrating that there are 4 or 5 brothers, sisters, economically very poor. Every day they were not able to manage one meal also. So they are running after the trucks, buses, from where the potato, tomato, anything falls, they are bringing and they are collecting and they are taking. But now she is feeling that I am an Asia winner. I am something like that. So that is how this is a proud moment for somebody. So similarly for you, can you tell me, we are all teachers, this is my feeling. How can you feel that you are a great teacher? How can you feel you are a great teacher? This is my understanding of life. When you are teaching, the period is over. You have written something important point on the blackboard. So everywhere in the paint and charts, there is the chalk points, and there is sweating. The sweating has put into the mouth, and you know the test of now. The students are, sir, it is a very nice class, sir. So we cannot forget. That is how you are estimating that really I am a good teacher. That is self-estimation. You are estimating yourself very high. Well, now to whom you are teaching to the students. When the students appreciate you, Is it not a moment for you to estimate you something high? Before 1 day or 2 days, your headmaster or your higher authority has rebuked you for some reasons. But next day, in that moment, you are feeling that, oh, my higher authority has said like that. Oh, I feel something else. Now today your students say like this. Now it is a moment of self-esteem, estimating yourself high. So therefore, self-esteem reflects a person's overall subjective emotional evaluation. For example, there are many teachers I have seen, my students also, they compose poems which I cannot. Then I appreciate. Yes, you are a primary school teacher, doesn't matter. But you must estimate high that you are a poet. You have gone the boundary of teaching. You are not confined yourself to the teaching. Now you are a poet. When you are reciting your poem, now the people say, the audience, they are clapping, very good poem. Now what is the moment for you? Now sir, I was cherishing the moment. I was estimating myself. Oh, yes, I have been recognized. This is the need, Maslow's hierarchy of need. There are two types of need. One is deficit need, another is your achievement need. That achievement need, yes, I have got something, and for which I feel very estimated high. I feel estimated high. Something is saying something great for me. So therefore, I am not living for roti kapda makan, shelter, food shelter, something like that. So something else that I do not have, that I may not have, but I have been estimated high. So that is the proud moment for me. So therefore, it is self-esteem. Every individual expects I should be respected. Somebody must recognize me. So when you are recognized, this is the need that you are estimating high. Anyhow, similarly, environmental awareness, you know that there is global warming. Just see, now October is going to be an end. It is the end part of October. In the daytime, nighttime it is okay. In the daytime from 10 to 3, how do we feel? There is war. So no, and now there is because of the ozone. Pardon, Jayanti?
Page number, please, sir.
Because of global warming, why it happens? There is a vicious circle. We are cutting the trees, we are making apartment, so therefore the water level go down, because there is a relationship between your plantation, plant and harvesting, plant and rainfalling. So because of this, there is imbalance. So there are many reasons. Ozone layer, there are holes in the ozone layer. Therefore, there is direct sunshine from that. When there is ozone layer, it was reflecting. It was not, the sun rays were not coming directly. Similarly, now the scientists are thinking, now glacier. Now there will be, what will happen, God knows. So there will be heavy flood when glaciers will be melted. You know, anyhow. So therefore, it is high time we should be aware of our environment, environmental awareness. We must have, we will not deforestation, not deforestation, afforestation. Now you must slogan. So that is how through education we can do. Therefore, need for self-sufficiency, that is also a kind of thing. You are educated, I am educated. If according to my education, if I am not given the job, so then how can I feel satisfied? So therefore, somehow economically, when an individual is economically independent, then we can say he or she is self-sufficient. Similarly, self-actualization, it is related to self-esteem. Therefore, here, as I was talking to you, your Maslow, in his hierarchy theory, there are two types of theory. One is deficit theory, another is growth needs. Deficit needs, growth needs. Now, self-actualization relate to the growth needs. That means, according to Maslow, the self-actualization offers a positive approach towards motivation. That means you are energizing. You will be doing better. So that is also an expectation. Participation in national development. For example, how can you participate? It is there. Healthy change in outlook. You must change. if we have negative attitude towards any situation. For example, I will give you. For example, I am a teacher, but before joining the dharana, is there any problem?
Sir, good evening.
Good evening. Is there any problem? Do you want to clarify?
यस यस सर सर जो सेल्फ एस्टीम है वो माने हमारे जो सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट जो इंक्रीज होता है हमारे जो ओन इमेज में वो होता है या अदर जो हमें जो क्लैरिफाई करते हैं चाहे वो हम अच्छे है या बुरे है वो हो जाता है
नहीं सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन मीन्स when you actualize, when you fulfill what you want, then it is a state of happiness. So therefore, for example, you are a teacher and you are teaching, but sometimes you are doing something else. Whatever you have done, if it is appreciated, now it energizes yourself. So therefore, our need is not food and bread or home or thirst, but we want some kind of recognition. If that recognition is there, you are motivated. That is what your Maslow says. Therefore, participating in national development, how can you participate? When you change your outlook, when you change your attitude. For example, you are a teacher. Now, how could you become a teacher? You have given many interviews, OS, banking, etc., etc. You could not get. Now, rejected there, selected here. Now, when you become a teacher, if you feel, oh, I could not get OS officer, had I been OS officer, I would be like this, or I would be Tahsildar, I would be like this, had I been B or something like that, I could. No. If you have not got it, forget it. Now you have joined the teaching profession, so you should have changed your outlook, have a positive outlook towards teaching present situation. What is the present situation? You are a teacher. When you have a positive attitude to outlook towards the teaching, then you can love your profession, you can love your teachers, friends, you can love your students, then you can become sincere, you can devoted, committed, dedicated, etc. Otherwise not. Similarly, development of human resources, education must focus on providing skilled and efficient person, skilled and efficient, therefore empowerment like that. Development attitude, positive from wrong attitude, from negative attitude, positive attitude, development of democratic and secular values like education must inculcate among citizens the democratic secular value. What is secular value? Respecting all religions equally like that. National consciousness, that means whatever we do, it should be the consciousness of all people. Education must provide an ideological articulation, promotion of national consciousness to help people to see their needs and problems. That means whatever problem we have, that should not be seen from my individual point of view. It should be from whole national point of view. Similarly, increase of physical quality of life index. Now, life expectancy, because of the different inventions, discoveries, now our biological well-being is restored. Now we are talking about sustainable development like that. Social and national integration, we must live together. We will not feel that you are or that I am that. If we feel that you are my position is better than your position, then there will be disintegration. So we should not allow. For economic progress, synthesizing scientific, spiritual, and cultural. That is more important. Sometimes, for this context, you are a scientist. Does a scientist not believing in any spiritualism? For example, let us take the case of Einstein. Einstein has clearly declared that let us not be the men of success, let us be the men of virtue and values. That means spiritual, moral. So what for your scientist? You are creating something or you are developing something new. If that thing which you have produced newly, if it is not based upon values, morality, then it will destroy. So you cannot make use of your scientific talent for the destruction of the country. You are talented. So that is not. So therefore, the scientists must be spiritualists. So valuable. Similarly, peace and international understanding. As I was telling you, Delors report. So that is your, we must live in the community together. That is peaceful coexistence. So therefore, At the international level, now there are many wars. We must learn from the First World War, Second World War. If we learn, why should there be Kargil war? Why should there be war between your this country, that country, Russia and your? So that is not Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine. Also, there is another two countries they are doing. They have said, they have declared that till not smash the country, our country will go on doing this. It is not the declaration of an educated one. So therefore, we must do like that. Another is prevention of environmental degradation. Now we must prevent. We must not allow that there should be environment should be polluted. So this is all about Unit 2. Then Unit 3. Education and policies. Definitely, when we are committed to, for example, we are committed to provide free and compulsory education. Your Article 45 of the Constitution. Now we have to make some provisions. We have to give some. We have to implement different provisions. For example, one of the schemes, whether you know or do not know, Operation Blackboard. Do you have any idea? Operation Blackboard. That means that is symbolic. That means minimum facility should be. Blackboard means facility. Minimum stands for facility. Minimum learning facilities must be made available to elementary school. One of them is 50% women teachers, 50% male teachers. Learning corner like that. Why 50% women teachers, 50% male teachers? By that time, it was found, the research says, that a large number of dropouts were from girls. When those girls who have left the school, who were termed as dropouts, they were interviewed. They said that our problems had not been taken care of. Therefore, we did not like to go to school. Therefore, women teachers, female teachers were appointed, at least 50%. Why? These female teachers can understand the problems of girls. That was the notion. Anyhow, so since we have discussed, education is the key to total national development of the country. There is a link between development of a nation and the education. Therefore, we must provide education to all. That is our constitutional mandate. So, we have, for that purpose, through our different articles, we are talking about how to provide facility for education. For example, Article 14, page 42. What does Article 14 says? The state shall not deny to any person equality before law or equal. That means equal. Every student is equal. Every learner is equal. Every man individually equal. Right of equality. Similarly, Article 15 guarantees no discrimination, whether boy, girl, everybody. Similarly, Article 15.4, backwardness, SC, like that. So there are many articles. I will not go in detail. For example, let us come to Article 350. It guarantees the right of all people to use a language they understand in a representation for redress their grievances. For example, on the basis of this, it was not done. Now the government is doing. You must have heard all chiki. Have you heard all chiki? This is the this is the language for the tribal children Santali, and this language was invented by your Pandit Raghunath Murmu. According medical college has been named. Anyhow, so when this is Article 350 says, if the tribal child who is quite conversant with his language, if he is or she is taught with that language, then she will take or he will take interest and he will understand. So therefore, the language of the child should be used as the medium of instruction, not Odia, not English. The medium of instruction should be the language of the child. So now the problem is, what is the problem? If the language of the child is the medium of instruction, then many teachers will be appointed. Many teachers mean many type of teachers. So Santali, Bhuya, Godaba, Saura. But our constitution has guaranteed this should be taken care of. Anyhow, similarly, if you go for Article 45, so it says the state shall make endeavor to provide free and compulsory education to all the children within the age group of 6 to 14, irrespective of caste, color, creed, free of education within 10 years after the commencement of the constitution. The constitution was framed by 50. We got independence 47. Ambedkar was in charge of that. So therefore, after 10 years means 60, it was hoped by 1960, 100% literacy, but more than 7 decades, 8 decades have passed. It is not possible. Now it is hardly 75% or 80% literacy. So there are some problems. Anyhow, similarly, Article 46 says, state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of weaker sections of the people. Now, for example, on the basis of this, some of the states, they have started mobile teacher. Mobile means there are some nomads. They do not have permanent stay. They are working for 2 months in one place because they belong to very poor families. For example, they are doing some, and after that they are going some places. So therefore, now we will make a pilot study. We can make a discussion with them. Now you tell me how many days you will stay in which place. Accordingly, a teacher will be appointed. The teacher will go wherever they go, and their children, maybe 5, 7, if they are eligible to get education, means school-going children. Eligible means school-going children. They will be, that teacher will be there with them. He will or she will teach. Similarly, in Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, they have board school. Board school. That means most of the parents, families with children, they remain in the board for business, something like that. So therefore, a teacher will be appointed for that board. So he will take care of 1 or 2 days in this board, 2 or 3 days for another board, like that. That means we are committed to provide education to all children who are in the age group of school going. So this is how our provisions are there in the Constitution. Now it has been told that when we have to make education free and compulsory, irrespective of caste, color, creed, now we have to make funds available. Now it has been given which government is spending how much money according to the GDP, gross domestic product. Now that percentage is given. If you look at the table 3.1 at page 46, you will find expenditure on education in some countries, selected countries. By the 2013, the maximum expenditure on education could be seen in South Africa, 19.2. Let me see you in India. Have you gone? How many of you have gone through the National Education Policy 2020? Have you gone? All right. There are 4 parts. First part is school education. Second part is higher education, college, higher education. Third part is tertiary education, professional education and agriculture, like that. Fourth part is about how to make it happen. So therefore, it is it has been told, those makers, those framers of National Education Policy 2020, they said that the suggestions, the recommendations which we have made in the National Education Policy, if it is to be undertaken, if it is to be implemented, the suggestions will be implemented, then the funds will be raised. But how much? Now they have suggested it will not be, earlier it was 4.6. Now it should be 6.4. Now 6.4 of gross domestic product of India will be spent on education. This is the expenditure on education. This has been suggested. Please go through and you can see. Then the different policies and programs which have been suggested, that can be implemented. So therefore, for the implementation of different policies, programs, we must have a plan. We must make a plan. We must prepare a plan, which you call action plan. What actions will be taken so that education for all will be possible? So we must have, it needs planning. That we call action plan. What is action plan? Action plan is a strategy to concretize and implement the plan. Whatever is planned. For example, we talk about right to education. Education is right, fundamental right to education. Now, how that right to education can be achieved? We have to make a plan. For example, midday meal. For example, a number of teachers to be recruited in the school. For example, the water facilities. For example, inclusive education. For example, for the physically handicapped children, there should be ramp, different facilities. So these are the provision which we must give. So therefore, action plan is essential. When we are doing the action plan, if those action plans are not supported by the political leader, for example, education minister, for example, the chief minister, so there should be political support to concretize that action plan. Also, there should be provision of finance. Just doing the plan is not sufficient. So that plan could be concretized if we have made finance available. So now action plan, then political support, financial provision, then that is not sufficient. Also involvement of stakeholders like parents, teachers, government, central government, state government, SCRT, diet, government, like that, SMC. So these are the people who have to participate in the different implementation procedure so that it can be possible. Another is, now for this purpose we have to conduct research for policy and analysis and planning. Now we have planned, we have policy, now we have to analyze to what extent this has been undertaken. If it is not done, why it is not done, how can you know? Therefore we can do research. What is research? Re means again, search means inquire, again and again you inquire, so that you can get feedback. The reason being not the system is working, like that. So therefore here it has been told we can take up two types of research. We can take two types of research. First is the project type research. Project type research funded by various research organizations. For example, you as a teacher, any stakeholder, you as a teacher, you can also conduct research, action research. For example, OPEPA is giving fund 20,000, 30,000 as per 50,000 as per your not demand, as per your project. Similarly, NCRT is giving. You can also conduct research, doesn't matter. Another is this is one type. Another type of research is purely academic in nature. That means those who are doing PG, MPhil, PhD in any discipline, and you have to do dissertation work. For MA education, MA or your MPhil, PhD, now you can conduct research. So from the research, we can know the situation. Therefore, for example, in page 52, there are different schemes of education. One or two schemes I can tell. Central, for example, we can have central sponsored scheme of education. We have state sponsored. For example, central sponsored scheme, midday meal scheme. It was launched in 1995. So the objective was to enhance enrollment, retention, attendance, simultaneously to improve the nutrition status of children. That was the objective. So it was for the elementary school students. Similarly, for example, for the secondary students, National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme. It is started from 2008 to 9. So what is the objective? NMMS. It is for secondary level. For meritorious students of economically weaker sections to arrest their dropout in class 8 and encourage them up to class 12. So 6,000 per year it is given scholarship like that. So there are different policy programs like that, schemes. Similarly, state-sponsored schemes. For example, Balwadi in Uttarakhand, providing a quality ECE program to 3 to 6 years old children in remote, economically poor Himalayan villages in Uttarakhand. It is the Uttarakhand. Similarly, girls hostel for establishment it is given. Similarly, in Assam, Jnana Jyoti scheme, it is purely state. Jnana Jyoti scheme has been introduced by the government of Assam since 2004. Under this scheme, the government of Assam provides all facility to the students to visit the historically and geographically important places, including the industrial town of the region. So now different states have their schemes, states or centers for providing facilities for the education of children. Now, last unit of the block 1, that is unit 4, Indian society and education. So, by this time, we have some grounding of Indian society, that it is a plural society, many languages, many cultures, many castes, many temperament, many tastes, etc. are there. So, now, in such a society, if we have to provide education for all, we have to first understand the nature of education. So what is education then? For example, I will tell, it is not there, I must tell you. Ruskin says regarding education, he says education, what is education? He says education is not to know what you know not, but to behave as you do not behave. Ruskin said that means education. For example, I do not know alphabet, I know alphabet. I do not know in mathematics A square plus algebra, A square plus B square, I know. It is not education. But what is education? Education is to behave as you do not behave. Behavior is more important. For example, some educated people, for example, it is hypothetical. A graduate young man, a graduate youth, he is making a travel through train, but he has no ticket. A village man, having no education, formal education, he has booked the ticket. Now you tell me who is educated? That means for that boy who is graduate. So education is a certificate. So where is your patriotism? If the educated, so-called educated, they go without ticket, how can you make the trains run? So for the maintenance, for the salary, for the like that, who will give? So therefore, government has provided facilities. You go from here to there, but you have to pay. You just see the village man, he is very conscious. No. It is a kind of, it is not a kind of righteousness. We are all citizens of India. He knows his responsibility, but you do not know. Anyhow, so therefore behavior is more important in education. So here, education has been treated as a kind of subsystem. Society is a system. Education is a part, subsystem. Marriage is a subsystem. Like that. Culture is a subsystem. Now, what are the characteristics of education as a subsystem? Why do you call education as a subsystem? It is given in page 63. So number 1, education is a part of large system of society. Society has many subsystems. When the different subsystems are put together, that becomes a society. Education is one of the subsystems. Second is education is as a subsystem, has its own rules, regulation, laws, society has, and these education has. For example, like on schools which include primary, elementary, secondary, senior secondary. So therefore, education, admission policy, then your school, beginning of school, vacation, like that. So schools have policies, education has policies. Education as a subsystem has specific aims and objectives. Education has the objective of overall development of the, what is the objective of education? All-round development. Now new education policy 2020 says, National Education Policy says, 20 says, it is all round, that it says that it is also all round, but in a different way. So therefore, all round, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all dimensions of the child must be taken care of. Then education as a subsystem receives input from the society and changes occur in the system of education. So therefore, who has made, for example, who provides education? Schools and colleges or universities. Now, now the question is, who has established the schools, colleges? So school community members. Now what for? To transmit the culture. So therefore, when in the process, because the society is changing, the society has established schools. When the society is changing, also society expects that there should be some changes in the school. Why? Unless the society's social changes are reflected in the educational changes, then there will be mismatch. Therefore, education must also change. For example, now society is changing from agricultural society to information society, digital society. Therefore, in my time, the teacher was teaching by using a piece of chalk and a blackboard. But now, if the same practice is done, only one piece of chalk and blackboard, that means the teacher is, in my time, the teacher was using mouth, verbal. Nowadays, if you as a teacher makes use of maximum time your mouth, then this what will happen? Then the students will give their faces to south. They will not listen to you. Now, therefore, we want joyful learning. Therefore, the National Curriculum Framework 2005, it was based upon Tagore's two concepts. One is generosity of joy. Another is your creative spirit. The students are creative, they can create new things. You must provide opportunity so that they can get joy. So learning should be joyful. Therefore, Professor Jaspal has said, learning without burden. So we are giving homework, you are giving mathematics teacher, science teacher, English teacher, language teacher. You all give, as a teacher, you all give homework. So that is a burden. So now, if it is given, learning will be burden for child. Learning has, this child has come to the school to enjoy. So that moment will be given anyhow. So as a subsystem, education arranges its resources, human resources, material resources. Human resources mean teachers, material resources, infrastructure, building, latrine, drinking facility, drinking water facility, playground, etc., etc. So these facilities will be there. As a subsystem, education enhances the functioning of other systems of society. For example, other system, culture. Which culture will be there? Which part of culture will not be there? Which system of marriage will be encouraged? Which not? Like that. As a subsystem, education is also offered by other subsystems like culture, religion, economy. Also, you are giving. So therefore, education as a subsystem helps to build a qualified and creative workforce who can create, also qualified, which can use technology to develop the economy of the country, because our country will progress, make progress, will be advanced. So therefore, we cannot stick to the traditional practices. We must adopt the technologies. Therefore, the structure of Indian society or the nature will be taken care of. So what is the social structure? Social structure is a social organization which is based on the pre-established patterns of social interaction between different relationships like parent, children. When we have a structure framework where the parent will be there, grandfather will be there, son will be there, then there should be a kind of relationship. Similarly, at the school, headmaster is there, teachers are there, students are there, parents are coming or something like that. The relationship is well established like that. Similarly, we have the different caste systems, social structures. Therefore, when we are talking about the social structures, this social structure is determined by the three different group dimensions. So what are the determinants of social structure? One is your hereditary caste group, another traditional occupation, third is your religion, culture. So these three are determining your structure. For example, let us take the case of hereditary caste group. on the basis of caste. We had Varna system. So 4 Varnas, Shudra, like that. Can anyone tell me the 4 castes? Vaishya,
Brahmin,
Shudra,
Vaishya, Sudra,
Kshatriya.
Vaishya,
Brahmana,
Shudra,
Kshatriya.
Brahmin, Kshatriya.
Kshatriya, Brahman. Like
Brahmana,
that.
Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra.
Very good. So this caste was made on the basis of occupation. For example, Kshatriya, they will go for fight. They will protect our country, our mother. Brahman, they will give education, enlighten. So the caste hierarchy was made for the progress of the nation. Similarly, demographic structure, that means everyone, for example, equality, brotherhood, in Indian democratic structure. We believe in democracy. So what is the democratic structure? Equality, brotherhood, liberty, justice. So these are the 4 pillars of democratic structure. Similarly, in the Indian structure, education has not given the due justice. For example, gender in Indian society. Still then, in spite of education, enlightenment, empowerment, still in some areas, for example, particularly Bihar, Rajasthan, some states, also the traditional things that girls have not to be educated, something like that. So therefore, more awareness programs should be organized for those states. Similarly, economy and Indian social structure. For example, now how we have switched over from small traders, now beginning small traders, then handicraft, then agriculture, then industry, then technology, now globalized. Now, for example, take the case of India. From the undeveloped country to developing, or now developed, India is going to develop. That has been well visualized by the then President of India, Abdul Kalam. He said by 2030, India will be technological #1 in the world, in the universe. So therefore, India is no more India of 50 years back. Now India is the catchy word for other countries. Now everybody is seeking advice from India. So therefore, India is developed. Therefore, education and its relationship with Indian social. Now we have known, we could know the social structure. Now, what is the interrelationship between education and economy? That diagram can help you to understand. Page 67. Now, for example, we want, because we want a better life. Better life means economically. How can you have a better life? Good food, good quality education, quality food, quality house. So therefore, you should be economically better. So that better economic performance lead to more educational participation and achievement. For example, nowadays we are the parents, enlightened parents, we are more conscious of our lifestyle. Now we prefer 1 child or 2 children, small family child, so that we can provide quality education, quality food, quality life, like that. So therefore, better we are expecting better economic performance. When not at the individual level, at the also national level. If India as a nation is economically better, showing better performance, for example, there are different parts of economic division. For example, distribution, for example, production. So we are taking care of that. Marketing, competition, better economic performance lead to more educational party. When you have more, when you are economically better, you will think of education of your child in a better school, in a better education institution. So therefore, more educated people lead to better economic performance. Educated workforce takes advantage of new economic performance. When you, for example, you are a teacher, when you become an officer, so now you have more money, economically better. You can think of how this could be used for the betterment of my family, which are for the country, which lead to better performance, economic growth, enhances great national and personal wealth. Personally, you are wealthy, also nationally. That lead to increased resource availability and opportunity for. Now, because of the economic betterment, because the country is economically independent, individual is economically independent, that will be manifested in the increased resource availability and opportunity for education. That means we can provide quality education. Therefore, in the Indian context, we have already, I have told you, we have many policy strategies how to take care of education. Also, I will not repeat that. One is your education and amelioration of social backwardness. So what is amelioration? Means become better. Those who are downtrodden, those who are disadvantaged group, we must provide different policy programs so that they can improve their improve their situation. Another problem is when the child is giving education, language is important. So therefore, language. What is language? Language is the means of communication, expressing the feelings, emotions. So usually the teacher is using language, the student is using language, or the community is using language. When the language is not understandable, when the language is not amicable to the profession, either to the teacher, to the student, then education is not possible. That means we will not be confined to our mother tongue. All right, the child will be educated through mother tongue or the tribal language or the home language, very good. But that is at the beginning stage. But since we are going to be a member of the globe, we are remaining the global village. When you will go to Japan, when somebody will go to America, foreign countries, your Odia language cannot help you, your Hindi cannot help you. Though Hindi is a national language or English is an international language. Now you can go for international language, English. Therefore, in the school, we have made provision according to your Kothari Commission, 3 language formula, mother tongue, then another classical language, then second language English, third language is classical language. That means the child should know more languages. Therefore, our government should decide which language will be taught up to how many years, up to how many classes, like that. The policy must be clear. At what stage, how can we make a link between 2 states, between 2 countries, like that. So language is essential. Education and culture, they are related to each other. Why? Education transmits the culture, and culture determines the kind of education to be given to the child. So vice versa. So every state, every society has its own culture, and that culture determines the kind of education. But it is education which transmits the culture from generation to generation. For example, we belong to Hindu. We are all Hindus. Hinduism has its own culture. Hindu has its own culture. Hinduism. Now, who will provide you? Parents are not sufficient. So therefore, school can teach what is Sanatana Dharma, something like that. It can be. Now, when it is there, then because we are thinking of a better society, better Indian society, progressive society, advanced society, then that will be possible when we are changing our attitude. When our society is changing, our attitude can change the society. Therefore, education should play an important role. So now I will be ending. So education should be considered as an instrument for social change. So what is social change? According to Ginsburg, by social change, I understand a change in social structure, means size of the society, composition of society, balance of the parts, like that. For example, now in my time, the social family was joint family or extended family. Now the people are preferring, we are all preferring the small family, that is your nuclear family. Now there is change in attitude, social, that is a part of social change. Then when the society is changing, how can you know the society is changing? So in terms of their internal, external characteristics. For example, plant as well as unplant, you are planning what kind of changes you want. Temporal, due to multiple factors, industrialization, civilization, like that. Like test, like demonstration effect, like that. Uneven, maybe even uneven, maybe you cannot predict what change has taken place. Sometimes which is agreed upon that universal, it is a must. Then peaceful or violent, definitely we should also, of course we are violent. When somebody is attacking, you should be violent. You should change your society. Continuous, it should be a continuous process. It is inevitable. That means there is no way out not to change our society. So therefore, social change is essential. Now, how can we bring about social change? It is through education. So therefore, education acts like an agent of empowering the thoughts and life. Now, we should feel we should think about the change in our thought. The traditional thinking process should be changed. Also, lifestyle, like that. So therefore, education plays a role in equalizing opportunities by making it possible for all those who have the desire to be educated and ability, those who are able and who have the ability, education should be given by developing a content of education which will promote the development of scientific object outlook. Unless our outlook is not objective, for example, we will not blindly accept the traditional culture. If we find that some aspect of culture is not good, we can change it, we can delete it according to the demand of the society by creating a social environment of mutual tolerance based on religion, language, caste. So now we must develop the power of tolerance through education, and we must tolerate every religion. There are many religions. We have to tolerate every religion, every language, every caste, like that. So therefore, social change accelerates the economic development. It is because of changes in society there is economic development. For example, had there been no industrialization, we could not have the kind of life which we have. Therefore, it necessitated the mobility from one position to another. Therefore, there is a social demand for education. Now, in my time, the parents were expecting something from education. Now, in time, the demand is something different. So, therefore, for example, at the university and higher education level, modern university not only continue its traditional function, but also become a source of leading position of power and influence. Universities are not giving education. Also, they are the they are the source of creating leading positions, means president, secretary, something like that. Similarly, the demand for technical education is increasing rapidly because of the technological advancement. Similarly, at the secondary level, there is a demand to provide protective, moral, even therapeutic environment. That means we must be conducive. So therefore, how can you do? It can be done through school. So therefore, what are the functions of school? It is a preservation and promotion of cultural heritage, inculcation of social and moral values, all-round development of children, to develop leadership qualities, because the society cannot progress without leader. Maybe political leader, maybe leader doesn't mean only political leader. Education leader, economic leader, social worker, reformer, like that. Leadership quality to generate workforce for economy, different type of teachers, engineers, doctors, political leaders, agriculturists, like that. To reconstruct the society, that means the earlier society should be changed into a new form of society, keeping in mind the changes in the society, to develop a sense of cooperation that will be happening with the cooperation of different kind of workforces, to develop a sense of discipline. So everybody should be disciplined. Therefore, it can be possible when the democratic life is visualized in school. So the school is a democratic school if there is no discrimination on the basis of caste. The teacher, the workers in the school, they should not differentiate between the low caste, high caste, abolishes communal thoughts, follow the uniform pattern of education, imbibe the feelings of brotherhood, peace, harmony, show the respect to all the religious traditions, maintain social order, shares common beliefs. Then we can say this is the school where our climate is democratic climate, and in that climate we have proper social climate. Therefore, the teacher can become an instructional expert. He can teach well. He is a manager. He can manage the different situations of school. He can counsel. He can advise the learners or the community members. He can facilitate the learning teaching process. He is a role model. The students will accept him. He is the example. Also, he is the he is the constructor, he is the architecture of the future of the students or the country. Therefore, teacher is a social activist. That teacher is not confined to teaching in the classroom situation. Also, his message should go to the out of classroom situation, should go to the society. For example, you are teaching the students. The students may be asked by the parents, what was taught, who had taught, how was teacher. Now they can carry, on the basis of the reaction of the students, they can carry any impression about the teacher. So therefore, the teacher should be a role model for the society. Then the kind of society which we want on the basis of the social situation is possible. So with this word, I can say the block 1, that is your Indian societal context and education is completed. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow there is
Thank
no,
you, sir.
tomorrow there is no class. Pardon? So tomorrow there is no
Sir?
class. Day after tomorrow from 5 to 7. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
आज परशुराम सर जो क्लास करे थांते हबो कि
କିଛି ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ଅଛି ନା